Joining us right now to talk about the Republican Convention, the state Republican Convention, where Donald Trump may or may not be a topic of discussion at the state party convention. Joining us right now, Texas State Senator Lois Kolkhorst joining us here on the show out of SD 18. Senator, welcome to the Chad Hasty Show on KFYO.
Oh, thanks. It's so great to be on the show, and I just wanted to mention that I came out 2 or 3 weeks ago, and visited Texas Tech and saw some of the great things going on out in Lubbock, and it was great to be there and met with Senator Perry and, of course, Chancellor Duncan, and it was just a great time to be out there. I love those West Texas plains.
Well, and we appreciate you coming on today. Before we get into some of the things that will be discussed at the state convention, I just want to get your thoughts on the current race for president, and what your thoughts are coming away from last night.
Yeah, you have to process it. Obviously, I was for Ted Cruz. I went out and I campaigned, and I went to South Carolina and campaigned for him, and campaigned very hard here in Texas. And I'm disappointed. I think that he ran a great race. I heard a news anchor last night say really an amazing race with the 17 that started on that stage. It was a very strong field, and to be really the only competitor against Donald Trump was Ted Cruz, and he went very deep into this primary. I'm disappointed, but, taking a deep breath and saying that, Donald Trump and his message resonate with America, and he is the presumptive, as you said, he is the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party, and I will be campaigning for Donald Trump and making sure that Hillary Clinton is not the next president of the United States.
And let me ask you this, and you just said, you echoed what I believe Governor Abbott tweeted out last night, that it's time to defeat Hillary Clinton. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, I believe, saying the same thing, that it's time to unite. There are still many Republican voters, conservative voters, a lot of diehard Cruz supporters who say they will never vote for Donald Trump. What is your message to them?
Well, we had the same thing with Mitt Romney, and we saw what the result was there. We allowed Barack Obama a second term in office, and the damage that has been done to America is, immense. So what I would say to all those people is we're all taking a deep breath. It's less than 24 hours that our candidate, has dropped out of the race. And we, like I said, I've taken a few deep breaths today. And, I'm going to get behind Donald Trump, because I know that we cannot take another 4, potentially 8 years, which would be 16 years of a liberal president. And it will transform America. You start to look at the Supreme Court. You look at policies, and really, I do think that we can work with Donald Trump, and that, he has a desire to make America great, and in many ways, he's for America before he is with anyone else, and so I think there's some value to that. So I want to say to everyone, I get it. I don't like it. I'm a horned frog, and I don't like it when TCU loses a football game. I root for Texas Tech when they're playing any other school out of state. I don't like it when we lose, but when we do, we get up the next day and we start working again. And you cannot allow Hillary Clinton to be the next president of the United States. She doesn't tell the truth. We've seen what she did as Secretary of State, and that's just a precursor to what she will do as President of the United States.
Senator, the Texas GOP Convention happening in Dallas, starting on the 12th, running through this weekend. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to at the state convention?
Well, it's always great to see the grassroots get together and the excitement and what we get to talk about. And one of the things I wanted to bring up today was, there's been a lot of excitement about a bill that I sponsored in the Senate, HB 483, which establishes the Texas Bullion Depository. And I will tell y'all that there's been a lot of talk about that. Of course, all of our gold is now stored in federal depositories in New York. And I think it's time to bring our gold back to Texas. So there's a lot of excitement about that. the comptroller's office is in charge of the request for proposals, and we're going to move forward on things and concentrate on Texas and making Texas great. I think that Texas is a state that leads the nation in job growth and our economy, and we're an example for the rest of the nation. And I always tell state representatives and state senators and our statewide that what we do in Texas matters in the nation, because everyone else is looking for why we're so solvent and operating our state in the black, and that our debt is under control. So I'm excited about those kind of issues. And the grassroots will let you know how they feel about things. So I'm looking forward to getting an earful when I'm there.
When you brought up the bill, HB 483, when Governor Abbott signed that bill, and he was very enthusiastic about the bill that he signed, and you worked very hard on this bill, he said that with the passage of this bill, the Texas Bullion Depository will become the first state-level facility of its kind in the nation, increasing the security and stability of our gold reserves. Is that what this is all about just increasing the stability of the Texas reserves?
Yes, and I will tell you that, I've always adhered to the policy of a government closer to the people is a government that is more it's more responsive to the people. And so let's think about you take UTIMCO, which is the agency that invests for the Permanent University Fund. They had at one point purchased $1 billion of gold. It's all deposited in New York, and we pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to store it in New York. Now, why would Texas gold be in New York while we're paying them rent to put it up there? Why don't we bring that gold here to Texas, and we're able to deposit it right here in Texas and pay rent to Texas? And it just makes sense. I think that, why is New York the mecca of all financial institutions? I don't know. Texas is the nation's leader in economies. And so I think this could start a lot of different businesses. It could start a lot of momentum for the state of Texas.
You've obviously, when you were talking earlier about the GOP race, you were talking about everyone uniting. Do you think at the state convention that's going to be an overwhelming message to the delegates and to the grassroots supporters from those who are going to be addressing the delegates?
I do. I hope so. As you mentioned, the tweets by Governor Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Patrick, it resonates with me. They're the leaders of our state. It is time to unite. We have seen what has happened when people stay at home in November. If you stay at home and do not vote for the Republican candidate, you are in essence electing the Democrat candidate. And I just won't idly sit by and be a part of that. Donald Trump, again, I traveled and spent my own money going to, help Ted Cruz. I think that he was really the constitutional nominee. But at this point, we have Donald Trump. And again, you have to listen to him closely. When he starts talking about border security, he means it. When he starts talking about bringing jobs back to America, I really believe that he means that. When he starts questioning how much money we're spending in foreign aid, he makes other countries a bit nervous about, American exceptionalism. I'm okay with that. And so we have to give the man a chance to be able to, be our presidential candidate. Today we have no borders. We have, we're kind of meandering as a country. I mean, gosh, men can now go into women's bathrooms. I mean, where are we? I mean, we need to get back to the basics. I was a college athlete. I like to say, sometimes we need to get back to blocking and tackling and the things that government should do and be a part of, and get out of the things that we shouldn't be a part of. And so I think Donald Trump can do that. I really do believe that.
Well, and I'm pretty sure when the legislature gets back together, y'all will be tackling some of those issues as well.
Yeah, we will. And, Texas is now, we put $800 million in border security And, we're funding a lot of our own operations here because the government has failed us. And so, I do believe this, that America is great, but it can be much greater. And I think that in the last 8 years, we've lost our compass, and it's time to go back to the basics. And, as Donald Trump says, make America great again. I think that Ted Cruz could have been a wonderful leader for this nation, but he goes back to the U.S. Senate, and I hope that if Donald Trump is as smart as I think he is, he'll have Ted Cruz involved in his administration in some way or another.
Well, and Texas State Senator Lois Kolkhorst, we appreciate your time. I know you will be speaking and rallying the troops at the party convention there in Dallas this weekend, and so we wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to visiting with you during the legislative session as well.
I look forward to it, too, and best to everyone out in the Lubbock area. And again, I think so much of y'all, and thank you for, what y'all do for Texas and how great Texas Tech is and what y'all do agriculturally in West Texas. We love you and appreciate you.
We appreciate it, and have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
That's Texas State Senator Lois Kolkhorst, SD 18.